Hi, I'm Patrick and I'm a stooge for the mining industry. There's a bit of a push on to have no new mines on conservation land. Some people think it's a really big problem. To get an idea just how big we're talking, since DOC was set up in 1987, digging stuff out of the ground has disturbed about 0.04% of all conservation land. You could argue that conservation land's already 99.9% mining free. People may say that's all fine and dandy, but it's conservation land. Conservation it. What if that relatively small problem is actually part of the solution to the much bigger problem? Namely, the introduced pests and predators consuming a buffet of native birds and other critters every year, while DOC scrapes by trying to defend our native species on bugger all funding. But how can miners help solve our pest problem? Well, New Zealand's Independent Commissioner for the Environment warned that public funding will not be enough to stop pests wiping out much of our unique biodiversity. Jan Wright also said that commercial use, including mining, of the conservation estate offers an opportunity to address some of that funding shortfall. You may say, damn it, Janet, that's madness. But the numbers don't lie. DOC's annual budget only covers pest control over about 6% of the conservation estate each year. As things are, DOC's expecting kiwi to be extinct in the wild in about 2 generations. Not exactly encouraging. If people want more native wildlife, there needs to be more pest control, meaning someone needs to put more money on the bar so DOC can get a few more rounds in. And people seem to keep electing governments that have neglected to do that. In 2021, DOC's funding reached record levels and still only amounted to less than 0.5% of all public spending. And again, only covered pest control over about 6% of conservation land. Now you may think miners couldn't give 2 flying fantails about helping fund pest control, but they already are. Bird numbers are on the up around the Heafy Track and elsewhere in Kahurangi National Park. This is due to work carried out with funding from compensation payments for Bathurst Resources' escarpment mine. The coal miners are required to fund 35 years of pest control over 25,000 hectares of Kahurangi National Park and another 4,500 hectares on and around the Denniston Plateau. Also on the cards at the moment are Oceana Gold's plans for a gold and silver mine underneath an area of Coromandel Forest Park. The miners will tunnel in from private land and require minimal surface footprint, but some people think there may be an impact on Archie's frog and other critters above ground. So in return for the privilege of mining underneath conservation land, the gold miners are committing to actually increasing the population of Archie's frog by financing pest control over more than 18,000 hectares of Coromandel Forest Park. Should miners have access to New Zealand's conservation land, no strings attached? No, and they definitely don't. Remember, 0.04% since 1987. This often gets framed as bulldozers versus birds, or frogs, but it doesn't need to be. As Jan Wright put it, there is potential for a win-win. Provided conservation takes precedence, some mining operations could well provide a net conservation benefit. Catchy as it sounds, is no new mines on conservation land actually the best thing for conservation? Well, I don't think so, but I'm a stooge for the mining industry, so I probably would say that.